Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Undernight interview series. Today, I have with me Defiant.
Hello, it's me, Defiant.
Yep. Many of you are probably familiar with him. He is one of our top players, kind of a firebrand on social media at this point. And we're going to learn some more about him. So, with that being said, with that intro, let's just go into it. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself outside of Undernight? Maybe like a surprising fact about yourself?
This is something that I don't really get to talk about a lot, but I've been competing in like video games ever since I was probably like 12, but like not necessarily fighting games. Like I've been through a lot of different games, a lot of different genres of games,
So,
and
do you have like
oh,
maybe a favorite genre of game that you've competed in?
I mean, obviously fighting games. I mean, the fighting games are the genre where I've had the most success in, basically, the most successful I've been in.
Okay.
So that's what I'd consider.
Is that what you would say is your surprising fact that you've been competing basically since you were preteen?
Yeah, but like the games, when you hear about the games, they're like, it's like I'm going from genre to genre. Like for example, the first game that I competed in was like Counter Strike. I
Mm.
have like over 8K hours in that game. I was in the trenches for that game, and then I eventually was just like, this is too hard. I get burned out, and then the next game that I compete in, which is surprising, a lot of people don't know this, but Dark Souls 3 had a pretty
Oh, the
heated
PvP.
competitive. Yeah, Dark Souls 3 had a really um sweaty competitive scene. Like there's actual tournaments and stuff, and I used to play in those, and I think I got into like the top 5 for the ladder for that game as well.
Hmm.
And then after that game, because you know that game's toxic, you get burned out from playing that game. You have the game, the last competitive game that I played before I started fighting games, and it's pretty similar to a fighting game. Um, if you've ever heard of Chivalry Medieval Warfare, it's like a game where you're like a knight. You go around as a knight, and you're just it's just medieval combat basically. And they released a second game, and it's called Mordhau, and it's the same thing, but it's like good. So that game had a lot of tournaments as well. There's like 1v1 tournaments, which is probably what gave me my interest in playing fighting games. So you got like 1v1 tournaments, like sword fighting duels and stuff like that. And then you have the actual team things where it's just giant teams fighting each other and stuff. So they're all very different, but I think the one thing in common is that like basically I was looking for a genre of game where to me fighting someone else, and I never realized that fighting games existed until all like after everything. So
Yeah, sometimes I think it's easy to maybe like see them from outside. Like for me, you're maybe a little younger. I like played Street Fighter in the arcade somewhat, but like I didn't know that there was really like a dedicated local space or like a wider community. You would run into people who are like really good at random games, and it's just like, oh, that person's really sweaty. But diving into like the competitive scene really has changed my life for sure. But what would you consider to be your hobbies outside of fighting games? I know you post a lot about skating, for example.
yeah, that is my something that I used to do when I was like 15 or 16, 15 or 16. I used to go to like a after school teen program for military kids. And in the summer, they would take us on field trips, and one of the places they'd take us to is Star Castle. And I remember getting on skates for the first time and like absolutely like falling in love with it.
Hmm,
But since you'd go on a field trip, you really didn't have the time to like properly learn how to do it. So
yeah.
in those times, I didn't really know how to properly skate. But I went back to Star Castle again the start of this semester, summer, probably this summer this year, and I was like, okay, I'm going to seriously learn stuff and give it a shot, basically. So like now I'm actually learning a lot of stuff, and that is the hobby that takes up my time besides playing uni basically and playing video games. It's really fun. Like there's
Yeah,
so much stuff you can do, and it's really good exercise as well. So you're getting exercise. You're always learning something because you learn like a trick, like I don't know, like doing like a you learn how to do toe manuals and heel manuals. You can do much more tricks and add them to your thing. Like where I'm at right now, I'm still trying to learn. I'm trying to get better at transitioning from back to forward and forward to back, but I can skate backwards without like falling on my ass like both ways. It's just transitions are hard because if you mess them up, you're gonna fall on your floor, on
yeah. It's
your
maybe
fall.
like a rhythm thing where you have to get your feet up under you the proper way to transition one way to the other, right?
Yeah, and there's a lot of different ways you can transition to. You can just jump in 180. You can toe manuals, heel manuals, like actually stepping, spread eagle. There's a lot of different ways. Waltz jump, three turn, a lot of different ways to turn around, but so it's kind of overwhelming, but I've just been doing spread eagle and doing a toe pivot.
Okay.
What I've been doing.
So there's a lot of basics that you can learn as you transition into becoming more skilled in that. But we'll go ahead and make a kind of sudden transition back into Undernight. You mentioned some of the other competitive games that you got into, but what actually brought you into Undernight?
This is always funny to talk about because it was through pure hatred. It was through pure hatred. Because at this
Pure
point,
spite.
oh yeah, I forgot about another game that I competed in, Smash. I competed in Smash as well. That was
Yep.
the game that I played for like basically everyone's been playing Smash since they were a child. So,
Yeah.
but it was through pure hatred because I remember in 2019 that year when Smash was not at Evo,
Uh-huh.
and then they were like Under Night in Birth, and I'm like, bro, what is this game? This game looks terrible, man. Why did they replace this game with Smash? I was one of those Smash players. I was like, come on, man, why is Smash not here?
Yeah.
And then like I don't know why, but I guess my hate drove me to try the game because at that point I've already tried a couple fighting games. Like I've tried CF, I've tried BB Tag, I've tried a couple fighting games, but I'm like, fighting games are still kind of, they're too much. But then like I don't know, I when I finally got my hands on the game, I was like, wait a minute, this game is like speaking to my soul, like what I want in a fighting game, like all the things that I've been complaining about, like in other fighting games, like pressure feeling too linear and stuff being a lot harder to do in most fighting games. But everything felt natural to do in Uni, and also visually, it's kind of cringe to say, but it reminds me of Fate. It reminds me of Fate. So I was
No,
like, I
I
saw
think
Linne and I
there's
was like, ooh, that's or not Fate, but Type Moon. Right? Linne reminded me of Ryogi. It was like a little Ryogi.
yeah, I mean, considering Melty Blood and everything, it kind of makes sense, right? So,
Yeah.
you know. Okay, so you mentioned that spite and hatred essentially got you into Undernight, but what would you say is the thing that keeps you interested in Undernight now that you're here?
Um, the things that keep me interested in Under Night are like I like mashing around and other fighting games and stuff like that, but the big thing that keeps me interested in Uni is that how it rewards defense. The way it rewards defense in this game is it feels very satisfying every single time because other fighting games you defend like that and you kind of just die. They don't want you to do stuff like that. But this game I feel like is one of the only fighting games on the market out that properly rewards the person for holding obscene amounts of bullshit. So that's one thing. Like I said, earlier with like pressure, how I think most fighting game pressure is kind of linear, kind of straightforward. Uni, it's like there's there's obviously rules you can follow and stuff that will work for most characters when it comes to pressure, but you can really do anything. You can press whatever combination of buttons in whatever order you want, and that just means a lot to me because I think it's just way more easy to understand. Like, okay, you can press whatever buttons you want in whatever order as long as they're cancelable. And all you gotta know is if you used it before, you can't use it. You can't use it again. Like it's very simple to understand, but it also lets you like make really cool block strings and do really cool pressure. And the third thing is the system mechanics. The system mechanics in this game literally saved this game. If Uni did not have grid, oh my god, this game would be terrible to play. It'd be awful. Like Seth would run amok, Yuzu would be just broken, and that and Hilda, a lot of characters would just Hyde would be broken. Hyde would be broken if there was no grid. Grid kind of saves this game. This game would not be good if that was a thing. So
Yeah, it would be quite a different kind of game. And, not to shed too much light on detractors, I guess, but I know people who find that Under Night is not the flavor that they want. Those kinds of things are like in reverse a detriment. But for me, it's like as long as you understand what you're looking for, you have a prime opportunity to take your turn back to kind of flip the situation. Where like I've been playing Strive a little bit more. I've been playing Street Fighter 6 a little bit off and on. It kind of feels like when you're locked in that corner, man, you're locked in there. And, in Uni, there are definitely situations like that, but it feels more interactive. Like shielding, a guard
yeah,
thrust, I guess, in the next game. Like, there, CS reversal, CSVO, like, there are ways that it feels like you can get out of, the bullshit that you kind of talked about. But we'll go ahead and transfer into the third question, which is who is your main character and why did you choose them?
so I consider I'm a dual main. Like I do consider Lon my like second. Like these are my main characters. Lon and Hyde. They both give me the same flavor of character, but one's more obviously offensive, like want to be in your face, and the other is really lame and honest. I mean, they both have really ignorant neutral. But how I got into Hyde, um, basically like at that point when I think I was three character swaps in. I started with not Enkidu. I started with Linne. Linne was my first Under Night character because she looked like Ryogi. She's got a sword. Played
Same
that
for me,
character for a
even.
bit.
She was my first
Um,
character as well.
First character as well. That's weird. I feel like I wouldn't guess that would be your first character. I'd be like, man, you're an Enkidu player or something.
No,
But
again, I
you've
started.
been playing long, yeah. You've been
uh,
playing
Yeah, I
for a long
started
time.
in Yell, but Line and Yuzu were the first characters I was interested in.
That is not you characters. That is not you, man.
It definitely doesn't seem like it by now, right? But
You're
yeah.
a zoner player? I don't know, man. That doesn't seem right.
I like
That is,
zoners, I just can't play them very well. I'm pretty fond
zoning
of
is
them.
hard.
It is.
Zoning is hard.
It's cool though. When you watch somebody else not be able to play, like it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I was
Uh,
gonna make a tweet about Hilda player zoning in the next version, but then I was like, I'm not gonna make that tweet. I don't want to get flamed for being interested in Hilda players.
yeah, we'll see how that turns out. But you were saying why you chose Hyde. So you were a couple character swap deep.
Yeah, I went from Linne to Eltnum, and then I got to Enkidu. People remember the Enkidu arc, and then I'm just getting tired of playing Enkidu because like he's very exhausting to play, and like I'm just pressing his buttons. His buttons got high risk recovery, and then the lack of neutral was just killing me at this point because I'm just playing against Yuzu and Hilda, and I'm like I'm just getting tired, man. I need a character that has the same good defense as this character because I like turtling. I like being a turtle. I want to be hard to open up while also having good neutral. And this is when I started getting like based like when I saw the gameplay of a certain Hyde player I won't name, certain Hyde player, it's what got me interested in the character because I'm like nobody plays the character like this. It got me very interested, and I started watching like JP Hyde footage, and I'm like, this character, like, is kind of. I remember trying to play Hyde when I first booted up the game, but I could not because Uni is like the game that taught me fighting game fundamentals, like doing these inputs and stuff like that. So when
Yeah.
I finally was able to play the character, I was like, okay, I'm gonna give it a real shot. I'm gonna full time Hyde, and honestly, I never went back because he is a really interesting he's a really interesting character.
Yeah, I think he's a character that more or less you can argue certain things has the ability to do it all. You know, he maybe doesn't zone that much for systems reasons that we might go into in the future, but he kind of has a way to answer everything else in contrast to like maybe playing in Kidu where you're playing against some of these other characters. They are really dictating what you can and can't do, and I don't think Hyde has to worry about that nearly to the same extent.
Yeah, Hyde is basically what I consider my fighting game character because not necessarily a Shoto. He's definitely not a Shoto. He's more like a I could just do everything. I can literally just do everything. I don't do everything like super excellently, but I do everything good, and that's really strong. That's really strong in any fighting game. If you can do everything like pretty decently or good, there's no way you're a bad character. It's just not possible.
Yeah,
I think.
he's very very well rounded. But you mentioned Laundrakia, who is a newer pickup for your co-main. What ended up making you choose them?
Just watching a lot of Fox of footage. Watching Fox of play this character, I was like, this character seems up my alley, and Clear was kind of the game that I started like putting myself on the map for. So I was like, maybe might be time to finally give this character a shot as well. Especially since Fox was the only person really that gave this character a shot. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna try it, and it's hard to look back as well because this character it feels very similar to Hyde, but it's a completely different game plan. Like like with Hyde, I'm either trying to like be super aggressive and do these like, go for nasty throw loops, or doing long block strings of chip and playing the timer like that. But Lon is just he's such an ignorant character when it comes to neutral. Like he is, I think his pressure is not good, but I'd probably say he has top 5 neutral in the game. Absolutely, his neutral is so stupid because the fact you can whiff cancel his rec is dumb. 4C is fair. I'm gonna say it. 4C is fair, but it is a giant disjointed hitbox that's kind of hard to whiff punish sometimes. So you have that, and then 5B he has top 3 with cancelable normals in the game. He has 5BB. His 5BB is broken. I've robbed so many people with that. So you just have this wall. Hyde is like this really annoying rat, and Lon is like a wall that is really hard to get past sometimes. And guessing on him could get you grid broken or into an Oki setup. So yeah, they're both characters that like do everything. Both have really ignorant defense, ignorant neutral. Um, I wouldn't call Lon's pressure ignorant, but it is a wall. He has like he's setting up the wall and you can't get past it. So
Yeah, I started to consider Laundrakia more of like a warding character. Like you just kind of keep people in certain spaces, and then you create uncertainty, and that is what I think allows his pressure to really shine. It's like, okay, 5B, is he gonna 5BB? Is he going to go into a Rekka? Is he going to do delay Rekka? If you're trying to crouch shield too much, he can do like 214B whiff. He can go overhead. If you try to approach him, he can use his pretty good jump normals, even though they're, I think, very specifically, like the tool use is specific. There's a lot that you have to pay attention to when you're playing against him. But we'll kind of transition into the sub question of this, which talks about sub characters. you're known to basically play most of the cast. So rather than telling me which sub characters you play, go ahead and talk about why you've picked up some of those characters. What drew you to the characters that you use as sub characters?
Oh, brother. Oh, man. Hold on, let me. I gotta. I'm gonna go over the, like, I guess the important characters. I mean, I used to play Enkidu, so I know how to play Enkidu. Enkidu's easy, low maintenance, baby character. You can dabble with him. He's fun. Fronon I actually picked. Fronon and Mika, I'll do them together because I picked them for a certain reason. I picked them for that and Yuzu and like basically the broken zoning characters because Fronon just is very good at dealing with those characters, and Mika is just destroys some of these characters and makes it trivial to play the game. So pick those two characters for for those reasons. Um, I was just dabbling with Akatsuki.
Noted hater
Basically,
of that character, by the way.
yeah, I was a hater. Elnum, I used to play Elnum. I know how to play Elnum. I don't really see a reason to play her that much. And I'd say the last and well, Gordo. I don't know if anyone remembers the little arc where I mained Gordo for a little bit. I don't know if anyone remembers that, but so that's why I know how to play him as well. And he has cool combos.
Yeah, he looks cool. I tried to learn Gordo, but I really hate his B normals. Like they're good for what they're used for, but
Yeah,
as far as what I like out of characters, it just was not congruent with what I
yeah.
wanted to play.
I love his 2B, but his 5B can be so ass sometimes. It can be so ass because it's so small, man. It's so small. But the final character was Carmine. I think Carmine is uh probably maybe like my third or second favorite Under Night character, even with how bullshit he is and how it feels like sometimes he's not playing Uni. He is a very cool character. It's very fun to mix people. I see why people like mix up characters because it feels good to just it's like, all right, guess for game man, and then you eat 5k because he needed to do that damage from that high low fuzzy that's gapless.
Oh yeah,
But
all different kinds of flavors of character. I was actually interested because I was not familiar with your gourd at all, but I remembered your Hilda arc, for example.
oh
So
yeah,
I thought you were going to mention her. But you
dog,
know,
I play a lot of characters, man. I totally forgot I played Hilda for a bit as well. I played Hilda because I wanted to prove how easy this character. That's why I played Hilda. And she is so easy. Oh my god, she's so actually in tournament. It's kind of against good players. You definitely have to put some effort. Let's not get it twisted. Like a lot of the top Hilda players, like I guess I'll talk a little bit about what I wanted to tweet about. I was gonna say I was interested in seeing Hilda players in Uni too, like with how more zoner centric Hilda is in Uni 2 because I feel like the big difference between good, like actual Hilda players and like people that are kind of just like pressing buttons and doing shit and doing their 50-50 is that the good Hilda players have really good neutral awareness and presence and just a really good neutral game that makes it very hard to do anything.
mhm.
And like I played low like a week ago and it reminded me like okay, this is what a good Hilda player is like just very good at setting up these really messed up situations with gloom.
Yeah,
Like,
and
hey,
don't get it
I
twisted, because that new move she has that basically hides what she's doing. Nah, that
yeah,
they're gonna be mixing. It's gonna feel different, and there's an adjustment period, but I think Hilda will be just fine.
yeah, I agree. I think she'll be fine.
You know. But you kind of mentioned how stronger players, excuse me, stronger players of the character um, have that neutral awareness, and they're able to kind of like play to different strengths. That actually leads me into my next question. What would you say is your mode of player expression? What do you think like your signature thing is?
um, my signature thing is sadly doesn't really exist in Uni 2 anymore because everyone can do it now. But one of the things that I really liked about watching Hyde was Hyde players that micro dashed in their combos, and I was like, why do you do this? This seems like too much effort for like nothing. But when you learn, when you get better at the game and you learn, you're like, okay, this matters. This will get you situations that you would not be able to get if you did not micro dash. So I put my entire soul into practicing micro dashing. I'm pretty much the only Hyde player that goes for micro dashes like that. I'll go for micro dashes on really weird stuff just to get that little bit more corner carry, like that corner carry combo, or like getting that mid screen strip, stuff like that. That is my thing for Hyde, I believe. And I mean, I stole it from someone else, but it's what I feel like separates me from majority of the people that play this character.
Yeah,
And for long,
oh, go
go
ahead.
ahead.
No, no, please go ahead for Lond
Oh,
as well.
oh yeah, and for Lon, see, I think the difference between me and Fox, if I'm gonna use them as a comparison, I feel like Fox goes for more. He's not like he goes for like his one Oki setup. Like I forget what it's called, the calm beanie, whatever
Combini
the
toilet,
calm
the convenience
toilet.
store toilet.
Yeah, he goes for that high low mix up a lot, but he really doesn't. I feel like he doesn't go for. I feel like I go for Oki setups more than him, so I consider my lawn thing as that I'm constantly going for Oki. Like I'm
Hmm.
constantly going for flower. That's the one. That's another reason why I picked up lawn because it's like I'm playing Hyde, but I have a set play tool. So I have this character that'll like if I want to play a matchup and play against a player that's maybe a little bit more crazy, I can play this character has really like non-committal like media options like with flower and 4C and stuff. So I don't really have to deal with much. All Hyde really has is like throwing out a spaced fireball, but you have to set up into that from like a certain combo to do that. But Lana, he just does freeze, backdash 2-2, and that'll do most of the work for him. So that's what I feel like I'm more focused on doing all of the kinds of Oki, while Fox only really does a little bit.
Hmm.
So he's more focused on like setting up the like oppressive wall spacing, and I'm really trying to go for dumb Oki stuff basically. So
Yeah, so you basically like putting the defending player on ice, so to speak. But
uh,
to kind of dig into what you were talking about with Hyde, I felt kind of similar, and I think most people who have dug in and watched me play, um, those sort of micro dash, like okay, dash under, extra carry or corner carry, near corner 6xc kind of stuff, just to make sure that I get that corner objective more efficiently. Um, I I feel that's kind of my thing, at least for Akka as well. So it's always nice to see other people that have that sort of philosophy. So I think that that's definitely pretty interesting. Um,
you have
so
another player expression too. It's you're the Oki Akatsuki. You be doing some strange Oki, and I'm like, what? That was a plus fireball. What the hell?
oh,
Like
I
I play
think
Salty a lot, and Salty's just so bare. He's got that bare bones Oki, do his knockdown, and he's gonna run up into AU. But you'll like do the J6C, you'll do like the Rising J, like J6C, like high low and whatever. Like you'll do a bunch of different setups compared to everyone
yeah,
else.
the way that I kind of think about it is I want to present a situation to you enough times and have a little chart that goes around that. So the way that I play, ideally, I definitely do some nonsense things because I get to in the moment or whatever, is I want to set up an expectation and then betray that expectation. And that's how I want to like introduce uncertainty when I play people. So Oki situations kind of get to do that. I love air throw ender in the corner for that reason. You know,
Mm-hmm.
there are a couple different situations that I get to set up for that. It works pretty well when it works. When it doesn't work, I start to think like, man, I should just be like salty and just run up and 2A people, to be honest.
Yeah, I feel
So
that. I'm like,
there,
Yeah, I feel that.
It has its benefits and its detriments. But speaking of matchups and playing people, I'm sure you're going to have a couple different answers because you have two main characters. But what matchup do you feel like you are the most confident in? And in contrast to that, which matchups do you feel the least confident in or like the most nervous in?
It's funny you say that because you're definitely wrong, and both these characters get fucked up by the same character, so it isn't looking too hot. I want to talk about the characters that I hate, and you already know what I'm about to say.
Well, hold on. Before that, I'm going to stop you. I'm going to push back on that. Give me the characters that you feel the most comfortable against first. Well,
Oh,
we
that's
can
that's
we
so
can dig
boring.
in we can dig into that one. The second part of that question might be more fun, but
Okay, okay.
let's go in order
I mean,
here.
you know the answer. It's Byakuya, man.
Yeah.
It's weird that I feel like not a lot of people are gonna say Byakuya for their comfort character, but when I see a Byakuya, I'm like, I understand how to fight this character, like no, like no, like nobody else. No one, like I've played against this matchup so much.
So
Like
much.
I've really dug into the nitty gritty of all the things you need to do to beat this character. It's for both characters. Like I'm pretty confident with both these characters can fight him well enough. Like you didn't hear it from me, I'd be saying, it's like a 6-4, it's a 5.5, but it's even for both. It's even for both characters. It's a
Even
very
enough. Even enough. Yeah.
it's an even matchup. Like Hyde can be really aggressive and toxic to Byakuya, and Lon just has so many good tools to call out Byakuya buttons as well. So, and it just everything about this character, like I think what helps out a lot is both these characters have really good low crush options. Like if you don't have a good low crush option against Byakuya, it's gonna be really hard to fight him. Like even say for example, I do like a rebeat. The Byak player has to be wary that I like 214A. I mean Rekka, excuse me. If I Rekka at all, if I like, they have to always be worried about that because I could just randomly Rekka and just kill him for pressing 2B or 2C. And then with Alon, I'm just walking around and he's like, okay, I'm gonna run up 2B this guy, and then I just do C Rekka and like kill him, or rising JC, stuff like that. Having good low crush options helps out a lot. And being able to chip out the character is really important as well because you overextending against Byakuya is terrifying. You will lose the entire game sometimes from overextending, having to get out of your comfort zone. But these characters don't have to do that. I can
Yeah.
just keep chipping you, get life lead, and now you have to do something to me. And we're playing Under Night, where defense is equally as strong as offense. So you're risking your life doing stuff to me.
That's something that I'm really glad that you mentioned. So like, I don't know if he's the most uncomfortable character for me playing Akka, but uh, making sure that I'm playing to my objective, being very cognizant of the normals that he might want to use. But really, like when I play Byakuya, it's like I'm looking at time health meter. Like those are the three things.
Yeah,
Like don't give up the first hit for free, because once you start snowballing, you start snowballing. And if it comes down to it and you're getting low on time, Byakuya does have to do something. So that
yeah.
does open you up to being able to press more risky normals and things like that. As long as you have like meter or CS to protect yourself, you can start taking those rounds back. But if you're behind against that character, it's so annoying.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, but
I agree with that.
yeah, let's get to the fun one. I know you were geared up to start your rant. Uh,
Woo-wee! Oh, I
let's
got a
go.
lot to say.
Yeah, yeah. So let's lay out the character first, and then what
It's
makes
two
you
characters.
uncomfortable against those characters.
It's two characters. All right, I won't rag on. You already know I'm gonna rag on your character, but I'm not gonna do Akatsuki first. Let me talk about the character that people cap about the most this verse, and good
Okay.
old Elton. This character is not bad. This character is cheap. She has broken defense. Gunshot is broken. Gunshot is such a broken move because it's so fast, no hurt box, and it's plus when she has purple. And then Elder players are gonna be like, she needs to reload to get it, bro. You reload at the end of every combo. Just don't fuck it up, and you're gonna have plus frames for days. And I can't really do anything.
Mhm.
That character is she's so good against fireball characters. Like I think the high I think the Hyde Elton matchup is losing for Hyde, and then I also
Wow.
think it's even for Lond and Elton, but like when I play Hyde against Elton, that shit sucks. Even I'm gonna use Venice as an example. Venice said that Elton cooks this character, so you know it's gotta be
Cooks
true.
Hyde or Cooks Lawn?
Elton cooks Hyde.
Okay.
Venice said Elton cooks Hyde, so like it's gotta be true because oh it's so terrible. And then when you have to open her up, I
It's
don't know why
miserable.
people say this character is bad, but she has every single tool in the game, and she has the most broken combo reversal in the game. Okay, not the most broken, but
It's
it's the
up there.
second,
It's up there.
second, easy second combo reversal in the game. Like, come
So
on, man.
so if I can dig into that, people who know me know that I hate Eltonum. I've always hated Eltonum. Um, I feel like if you have to engage with that character, if like what your character does means that you have to fight her on her terms, then she feels really strong. But I do think that if you don't have to do that, if you are forcing her to have to make a decision and overcommit, then she's probably not very good. But there aren't very many characters that actually get to do that. So like I totally get you. But let's segue into the second character that you dislike. Let's dig into that. Why do you feel the way you
You're
feel about that
carried.
other
I'm
one?
gonna start with that.
I'm
You're
carried.
carried by this
Okay,
character.
I see.
Akatsuki is a cheating ass character. Having a one button parry specifically against Hyde and Lond is so strong. I
Yeah.
can't do any force functions. I can't. I can barely throw out fireballs. I can't do a single 2-2B. My plus frames are gone because if you're good at the matchup, you can parry everything. Same thing with Lon. I can't. You parry your fireball, I die. You parry any of my increased rekkas, I'm just in the corner. It's like, damn, I have to mash out against Akatsuki pressure in the corner. I think Lon does a way better job of getting out of Akatsuki fireball pressure, but outside of that, it's like when you're in the corner with Hyde against Akatsuki, I'm like, man, just get me out of here. Just kill me, man. Like this character is so good against those two. It makes me upset how good Akatsuki is against those two characters because his fireball is just so good at dealing with these characters. His fireball, all the ways he can get around fireball, and that damn parry, man. That damn parry. Playing Akatsuki players that parry everything, like they know they got the reactions to get everything. That is frustrating. That is the most frustrating thing in the world.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that. I personally think that the matchups, both of them are closer to even. Maybe Lond slightly in his advantage. But it's been hard for me because, unfortunately, like our connection isn't the best. So I feel
Yeah.
like I don't get to play to the terms that I want to play in. And then it's the same to Foxov, but like Foxov is one of the best players in the world. Uh, so I know he's like chump checking me on certain things too. So like I don't know. Have roaming opinions about both of those characters, uh, depending on who I get to play against. So I don't know. I think
I mean, I
Akka.
agree.
I do
I
think
think I agree.
Akka is cheap. I think his up close pressure is broken. Um, but I always think that how he has to engage and come in on both of those characters is where both of those characters can really shine. Uh, so I won't say my character's not broken, or I don't think I'm carried though. I think I have to make those decisions. There are many Akka players. A lot of us have had success, but some have had slightly more success than others, and I think there's a reason for that. But we will shift into talking about players. Who is your rival, and why do you consider them to be your rival?
I mean, you know, I
It's a
have
very
a I have
obvious
a
answer.
I have a couple
Oh,
rivals. I have a couple people that I consider rivals. I don't know if I mean they probably know. It's obviously like most of the top talent in like the southeast region. So like BB, that's like everyone knows that matchup. It's happened a cajillion times. I
oh
fight
yeah.
TV all the time. He's the one who got me the best at this game. He's the one that literally had me like throwing my hitbox down at the floor in frustration and going back into the lab and trying out situations and really digging deep into this game, digging deep to a whole nother level. I've never dug that deep into a game before, but this, like, he made me do that. I had to do that because that dude was winning every single uni like online tournament and like getting second and third all the time
Oh
is
yeah.
it's infuriating. I'm like, and then like I got somebody in my ear like, man, you're not that good at this game. I'm like, I'm gonna keep doing it. I'm gonna keep fighting this guy. I hope he feels the same as well. Like, hopefully, I'm somebody that's maybe made him reconsider the way he approaches things. But for me, he's definitely changed how I play this game.
Okay. So that's one.
Next one is, I don't think he knows this, but Jake, I think Jake is
Ah, Jake. Yeah.
he is. I'd probably put him in the top 5 best players in clear. Like the only reason, like he pretty much every tournament he goes to, he top 8 at every single tournament he went to. It's just he never really goes to that many tournaments. But if he did, he'd be always getting top 8. That
Yeah.
dude is really good.
Jake is
That
really
like
good.
he took the place of like when Gosuda dropped like dropped Chaos and kind of like chilled out and stopped competing. He like took the place of Gosuda. That is the Chaos player. He's got the combos, he's got the defense. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah. Shout out to
And
Snappy, by the way, because Snappy's still around.
Snappy is around too.
Let's give the flowers when we have them. But yeah, I think Jake really stormed. I can't say he stormed onto the scene because like
He's
I've
been
seen
flying.
him since like ST,
Yeah,
and like I've been playing him since ST. But
he's been flying.
it feels like he's really come into his own this version for sure.
Yeah. He he made me he's the one that taught me basically how to play against Chaos. Like he didn't like him beating my ass is what taught me how to play this character. And I'm like, I used to hate Chaos as well, but now I'm like, okay, Chaos is he's fine to play against. There's a lot you can do, even though I think Hyde gets dumped on by this character.
Mhm.
And it's funny because I watched his interview and he was like, I hate playing against Hyde.
Oh yeah.
So it's like
There are a lot of people. Actually, I don't know if you've known this. Maybe if you've like followed me for a while, but like up there next to Eltnum, generally speaking, and I've cooled off of this in the last few years, is Hyde. I hate Hyde. Like Hyde players think they're so fucking smart, but you know, sometimes I sit back and I'm like, all right, they got the good read. You know, they did what they were supposed to. But the way you felt about Akka players, I felt about Hyde players like 2 times over. So you know, it. I'll say that it's good that Hyde players are having success playing the right way because it didn't used to be that way. Uh, so that's two people. Did you have another maybe another
yeah,
couple people?
yeah, this is the person that makes me hate this character. I'm like when everyone's like, oh, Elnum sucks. I'm like, look at this dude play the game. Look at how he plays. He plays like a gremlin. This character is broken. I'm gonna say this character's cheap. She's not bad. You just actually have to, commit to the character and play. But I'm obviously talking about Omni. Omni is we he's probably out of those 3, out of like Jake, BB, and Omni. I do not want to fight Omni in bracket. He's my kryptonite. Like with the right situation, like I feel like he like easily dumpsters me because his defense he has some of the best defense in the game. His 3 CAD timing is so hard to deal with.
Yeah.
And then getting locked down and his knowledge the way he does Elton pressure is so good.
It's really
It's
challenging.
it feels like I'm playing like an old ST Elton player. Like this is how this character runs. This is how you should run offense on this character, and it feels like her pressure is infinite. I've been saying for a long time
Yeah.
that Elton's pressure is fucking infinite. With the right hands, it's like impossible to get out.
we kind of talked about this very, very early on, so I'm going to make a callback to basically the first question, uh, where you talked about pressure being so freeform, and you can just kind of press whatever you need to press, and once that normal is used, it's gone. It doesn't feel like that with Elton because they
Yeah.
always structure around smart steer.
Yep.
So it's like, okay, you might lead with 2B or save 2B, but you still have all of these normals up close that you have to pay attention to. Then she's doing her car throw, and it's like, let me fuck it out. And it feels like if
Yeah.
you press, you're getting counter hit. Like playing Moon Cookies was very much the same way. Like, cause he's so good at it as well. Like, yeah, I feel that. I feel that.
The infinite pressure is just oh man. When she has purple bullets, like
It's
if
miserable.
you're in the corner, and I think people are gonna feel this really hard in Uni too, because now there's no 1AD,
Yeah.
so like you're gonna be guessing
The annoying part
very
too.
hard
So
with the character.
if I can rant for like 3 seconds, the fucking
Yeah.
6-6C change where she can do that
Oh,
into 2-2A and it counter hits 5 framers, motherfucker. Oh my god, that's gonna be so annoying.
it's so dumb, and you know what's messed up? That's Omni's signature thing. He loves slamming 6-6C.
Yeah.
That is his thing. No Elden player slams it like him, so it's over. It's over, man. Come on, man. Why did they do that? Why?
All right.
Ugh.
So, uh, we'll transfer that into maybe some players that are under the radar. Do you have players that have caught your eye? Because you're a player that's been playing online basically for the entire version, even as some of the other higher level players, maybe eschew playing in online events. So like, who do you have your eye on? Who do you think is maybe next up to come into the consciousness of uni players?
Um, you know, I had to think about this pretty hard because I was like, there hasn't really been much new players, really. There hasn't really been much new ones. The only like new player I can think of, I think someone else. No, Jake said it as well. Rhodes. Rhodes is really really good. Rhodes
Yeah.
is definitely gonna get up there. But there's a different player I wanted to talk about, and he's been playing the game for a bit, but he hasn't really fully like ever committed to the game. Like he hasn't like put his 100% because he's competing in plus R. I wanted to talk about Gravy Jones.
Oh,
You've
Gravy
probably heard of him.
Jones. Yeah, I've seen
He's
him.
a work player, and I think he has the potential to be like one of the top mercs for the next version because he's actually gonna like be playing the game like at 100%. And obviously I'm gonna be playing with him and stuff like that, and we're gonna get him up there. But he's already pretty decent. But like once this game comes out, like he lives in a I forget where he lives, but he doesn't really have any access to locals, and Uni's online is not that great, so he doesn't really have the ability to grind. But now that he has the ability to grind, like he's gonna be really strong, especially with how ignorant Merc is as well in the next version. So
Uh, we did talk a little bit about this when you mentioned, I guess, the Hyde player who must not be named. But do you have player inspirations, or do you have, and do you have community members that do different things that you look up to?
actually, before I answer that question, there was another group of people that I
Oh,
also
yeah.
wanted. I wanted to warn people about. It's Lumina players. I think some of the top Lumina players have the potential to take over the game. Possibly some of the top Lumina players. I'm not gonna name them because I want it to be a surprise when some Lumina player starts cooking. Some of them are definitely have the potential because they're kind of similar. So kind of
Yeah.
similar enough games.
I
So I
mean,
think,
we've seen in the
yeah,
past like Strahd, top level player in ST as well. He
yeah,
was playing Eltnum and Akatsuki at the time. There are many people who have played Lumina, had some time in Lumina, that maybe are considered older uni players that are trying to come back. There's going to be a lot of interesting people to watch, I think, in the next version.
yeah.
So,
The competitive landscape's gonna change a lot, but now I can answer. Player inspirations. I have a couple
Okay.
player inspirations. I'll do those first. My favorite Under Night player to watch still to this day, the outside of my the Hyde player that I won't name, um is Silent. Silent is my favorite player to watch. I think Silent, when he's playing the game good, like when when he's in the zone, he's unstoppable. He
He's
is
so strong.
absolutely unstoppable. No one plays the character like him. It's the reason why I wanted to play Fanon as well, because I'm like, the way he plays is just this character. All I see people play this character as is like a runaway, like rat, scrubby, like just don't want to play the game. But this dude wants to play the game. He is always in the opponent's face, relentless pressure. I I played this dude in bracket, and getting on the receiving end of a motivated silent does not feel great.
I mean,
Like,
you're telling me, dude. Like, I think I'm 0 and 4 or something against him in tournament. Like, I housed him and I was beating him all week. He came and like smacked me up. Like
yeah,
when it mattered. Like when he was really locked in, I like thought I had an answer. He's like one of the people that I always go back and I'm like, all right, I got to look at this because like he's going to take the initiative. He's going to take the fight to you. So like when you play almost any other phone on, it's not like that. I felt that when I went to Japan. It's like once I played Silent, like Silent's the best phone on in the world right now.
yeah.
So anything else is just like, oh, it's a bit more comfortable.
I guess I'd consider Silent a rival as well, because like whenever I go to majors with him, we're always like we usually play a lot against each other, like in casuals and stuff like that, and like he is he has so much confidence issues, and I'm like, dude, if you play good, you can beat anybody, man. Like I've gotten folded before, and like I feel like I'm a confident enough player, but like, damn, you can put even the best in their feelings, man.
Oh
Like
yeah.
it fucking sucks.
Yeah, because you know what you're looking for, and then the mistakes just add up, and Fanon hits you for a million damage. He's
Yeah, and
got
he's got the
the
combos.
he's got the demoralizing combos where you get hit into the air and then he like rejumps, and it's just like, man, I ain't trying to get hit by that shit today. You're sitting
Yeah,
there waiting for 15 seconds, watching your
uh,
character get obliterated. Yeah, yep. Um,
he, he's got it.
he's got it. But that's one player that is an inspiration. You had a couple others.
I mean, obviously, Foxov is the reason why I wanted to play Lon. He like the way he does pressure, the neutral, everything. Like it's just it was. I was like, dang, I want to do this too because this character actually seems really cool. So like, and I've always wanted to I've always wanted to be on like Foxov is like he's kind of like a fossil at this point. He's like an old legend for uni basically. So it's like, and this guy's still playing. It's like I have something to look up to. Like I want to be like this good. Like he's been consistently good for such a long time. Like, and the way he plays, and he shows it by like going from like this broken like character. You know, people are like, oh, you're carried, you play that and stuff. You're not that good. And then he goes to Lon, and he's just still doing the same shit. Like he's like, yeah, I'm top. I'm top talent. I know how to play this game. I've been playing this game for a minute. I was playing this game when Player Lamp was pulling up the tournaments and Redblade was playing the game. I've been playing this game. I've been doing this, so it's always exciting to watch him play.
Yeah, definitely
Um,
know that. I was lucky enough to have him on my team, same team for a while. Sugoi Factory ended up stopping its operation, but I was really glad to have him as a teammate.
I remember the Sugoi Factory days.
Indeed, I'm actually wearing the hoodie right now. It's very comfortable. Uh,
Yeah, I've been around for a minute too. Gotta give myself some credit.
oh yeah, absolutely.
I've been playing since 2019. These people call me a Zoomer. I've been playing for a minute.
Yeah, now that it's been 4 years, but the we look at the Zoomers because we came from either early ST or EL and things like that. So time is all relative. Uh, but kind of digging back in, so we got Silent Fox of. Is there another
Yeah.
player inspiration?
Mo.sin,
Hmm.
probably the best EU player for uni like ever. It's just he was my Enkidu motivation. A lot of my inspirations for players are the people that like play the character kind of like the best. Like they just play the character flawlessly, and it's like beautiful to watch. And Mo's another one of them. Like you're everybody's so used to Enkidu players playing like fucking animals, like creatures, abominations. But he plays this character like he's playing like Street Fighter or something. Like the whiff, he will whiff punish stuff. He is one of the only people I've ever played against that has whiff punished a hide fireball orbiter explosion on whiff. He is the only person that's ever done that to me. Like with no like projectile invul move, no like half screen like disjointed move. That motherfucker walked back and he dashed in and whiff punished me with 2B.
Oh my god.
How did he do it? I don't know.
He labbed
But
it.
that man is yeah, he's a lab monster. I'm really I really hope that he starts grinding really hard in Uni 2 because now that there's rollback, he'll be able to play more with NA and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
very strong,
Yeah. You
very
you
fun to watch.
you mentioned him as potentially one of the best EU players ever. I'm very very interested to watch him play Hiyari in WoW T again. So Hiyari is in my heart like he's untouchable. So I would love to see Mo and Eggplant play against like locked in Hiyari. He's up there with like Silent and Squish, like the lore, his aura for me. Like
Yeah,
Hiyari's one of the
I
best to
felt
ever
the
do it.
aura. I remember fighting Hiyari at Taku and feeling the aura for the first time, and I was like, this is what like fighting an old god is.
Yeah,
This dude doesn't even play, and he's like giving me the nastiest run for my money,
yeah, he
and I'm
pushed
like,
you
damn,
there.
I'm not ready. Yeah, I was not ready to like get top 8 that tournament. I completely understood from that player alone. I was like, damn, I still got a lot to work on. But
So community members,
one more.
oh, you had one
I
more?
have one
Okay,
more player.
okay,
I have a lot of players that I
that's
look
fair.
up to a lot of players.
Okay,
Um, he might not be my goat right now, but before he was my goat. Eve, Eve Hyde,
Eve, yep.
Eve Hyde is like I studied his Hyde gameplay so much because it's like Hyde players be playing so different. It's so hard to like figure out like what way you should play this character, and he's kind of what made me realize that you can just do whatever you want with this character because he's really just doing stuff. That dude, he never does pressure. He's playing like Smash Bros. He's like jumping around and just backdashing and all like 1-2A assault. That's my block string.
Mm,
Like he's always doing something, but it's never like pressure. It's just constantly moving around and toying with the opponent, I guess, and it's just fun to watch,
yeah,
basically.
yeah. I've always been really impressed by Eve. Eve basically like beating Kure with ST Mika still sticks out in my head. Like that dude is so good. He did that
Yeah.
at Evo. It blew my mind. It blew my mind.
Hmm.
Okay, so now we can move on to the second part of that one. Community members. I'm sure a very prominent person in the New York area might be one of those players that you look up to, community member
Yeah.
wise. Go ahead and dig
Imp.
into that.
Yeah, Imp is Imperius Club, full name. Is basically I consider him. He's essentially the savior of Clear, man. He is for East Coast. Like
Oh yeah,
when
absolutely.
all of the tournament runners kind of just left us. They kind of just went on to do other games and stuff like that. But this dude did not leave. He kept running them beginner tournaments and kept running the tournaments, and like that means a lot to me because I would not have gotten good at this game without those tournaments because like even if net play tournament stuff, it's not it's not as real. Lots of stupid stuff could happen like connection issues and just online stuff, but it still gave me like motivation to improve because if there's nothing to do, I don't really I don't feel like I can improve. But every like week there's a tournament and there's always, I like maybe a special player shows up randomly. BB's always gonna join every single time, so I have somebody to challenge me. Omni might join randomly. Jake sometimes joins. Like there's just things happen, and I appreciate that so much because I joined at the in 2019, start of 2019. I thought it was the middle, but I was actually there from like the beginning of the year. So I played ST for basically a year, and I got a little bit of taste of like the tournaments with a little bit of online tournaments, but like it kind of, I was like, dang, and like now they're all gone. But like Imp is like the shining light for this game's like online scene basically, and I'll never forget. I'll never forget him for doing that.
He's
So
one of the goats. He
he is
honestly put the scene on his back. Like without his work, I think we would be in a very different place as
yeah.
far as the community. So I always have massive respect for him.
I feel like a lot of players would not have gotten the ability to show themselves as well, like on the East Coast. Like a lot of like players wouldn't be able to, and now there's another, offline local in New York as well with WASD Live and stuff. So like that's nice.
Yeah, he's
Um,
really cultivated the space there.
yeah, I don't want to hear anybody talk shit to him because he really put this game on. He was putting Clear on his back, man.
He's done so much. So yeah, he's one of those people that I'd be pretty upset if somebody was talking shit to him. And so
Like he does all this on his own time, man. Give him that credit. There's also another person that definitely puts. I mean, that nigga's just he is the French bred goat, I guess. Shinobi.
yep.
That dude is carries the entire French bred scene on his back, basically. Like, I have a lot of respect for Shinobi as well, because he kind of like he doesn't let no bullshit like get to him. He does his he be doing his thing, man, and that shit's really cool. And
Yeah.
he's also Climax and Night is the first major I've ever went to in my entire life, and that was a life-changing experience going to a major like that. And it was a good tournament. Put up a
Yeah.
very good impression for me for majors, and I'm like, I want to go to more now because of going to con, like being there, seeing the top eight, you know,
Being
seeing
in
all
that
of the
crowd.
games, being in the crowd. Like there's so much soul. And then that's when I made that major. Um, I made a declaration in my head, like a dream that I wanted to be in a top eight for a climax tournament, and I eventually finally, I'm glad that I got the ability to do it, and I'm glad that con's gonna happen again. I mean, they've been teasing it a lot, like it's going to happen again. So happy for that for Uni too as well. And another person that I'd be really pissed off if people, I hate when people like shit talk, like people like Shinobi and Imp, because they do everything for us, man. We would not have this without these people. We need people like them. They're amazing people that run these tournaments. Like I can't believe it's so weird that for all the French bred games, we have our own major for this community, this entire community. We have a place that we can call home. Our own major. Not a lot of games get stuff like that,
Yeah.
which is
Climax of Night is
amazing.
special.
It
Like
is special.
one of my dream scenarios, and I hope that it's able to happen. Because again, we don't know if Climax is going to continue after this next year. I really need French bread to really like come over, like one rep or something. I think they need to understand like how much we love them, man. Like being in a place like that is special.
Yeah,
There's nothing else like it. I've been to so many different majors, and Climax is it's home, it's family.
it
So
is.
you know,
It's so cool to see all of the like community members that I talk to online a lot in the same room, and we're chilling. It's a chill vibe. I like the themings that like every con is like the style for every single one is like different, but it gives off the same vibe. Um, like yeah, both of them are the hard carries of uni. So put your respect to both of them. Is all I will say as my final words for those two.
Nice. All right, so we'll transition. We're back. We're basically at the back end of this interview. Uh, let's talk a little bit about Uniclear, like what sort of reflections you have, thoughts, hot takes about this version as we're coming to the end here.
Okay, I'll give my first one that I think a lot of people are gonna be upset about, specifically ST players. I think Clear is a lot better of a version than ST. And if you think ST is a better version, you probably played Funon, you probably played Seth, you probably played Wagner. You probably played a lot of characters that were just obscenely bullshit in that version. But I think Clear is a lot better of a version because so much more of the cast is like you really we can't really tell who's like the bad characters in this version besides like Gordo. That's literally it. But most of the characters in this game are pretty solid. You could win with any character. It feels. I mean, you could win with any character in ST, but the gap feels a lot smaller in Clear. Like this game is pretty balanced for the most part, and I feel like if Clear got the same like player base and like play time as ST, I think a lot of people would have liked it more as well because I think it is a more fair and more playable version because a lot like Enkidu is a character. People were still doing good with Enkidu, like Rakir was cooking. I'm forgetting the JP Enkidu player, but that dude.
Takashi, maybe?
Yeah, Takashi. Yeah, Takashi was doing really good. Like people are still cooking with these characters that are basically dysfunctional. I played ST Enkidu. I know how bad he was,
Yep.
and people were still winning. But
I
like
played.
now,
Oh,
oh,
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
I was just saying, I played ST Aka. That character sucked, and Squish
Yes,
and many people, or a handful of people, still managed to have some success. So yeah,
like dude, Akatsuki Fireball did not even bounce up on hit, man. What the
it was
fuck?
counter hit only. Counter hit
Oh
only.
my god, what were they cooking, man? And then you got Wagner and Bonan and Mika running around, demonic characters, and oh, oh my god, man. Byakuya is still like I think he was more broken before, so he was definitely more broken before. But like I think Clear was a better version than ST. I think Clear didn't have as much as like moments as ST because ST obviously just had more tournaments, more people playing. But I think if it got the same treatment, I think people would have like loved it as much as
Yeah,
ST. I mean, I like both versions. I do, but I think Clear is better. I think it is a better version.
I have a similar opinion. I think if the pandemic didn't happen the way that it happened, not that we've fully escaped the ramifications and things of that nature, Clear would be really beloved too. I think the transition into that version would have been perfect, were it not for 2020. But you have some other potential thoughts here about Clear?
Other potential thoughts about Clear.
Yeah, just some reflections as we're coming toward the end.
Reflections. Not really, to be honest. I kind of just press buttons, to be honest. In this version, it feels like I don't know. This version gave us Landrakia, so I'm very happy, and I'm glad that we're through with this version because they're gonna add him to the game finally. So
Yeah, one of the characters with a high tournament success rate finally getting added in the next version. But speaking of that, then, what are you looking forward to the most in Uni 2?
uh, more tournaments and more exhibitions. I want to see the EU players play in our tournaments and also the South American players as well because that's what gets me excited the most is, going letting these other regions finally get the chance to play, where basically most of the competition is because there's some really good players that I know would fraud some of y'all. Like I remember playing Nox in the Uni 2 beta. I was like, wait, This might be one of the best Ories I've played in a minute. Playing like Nox or like Yuno's come over before, but like when Yuno gets the ability to grind with us, that dude's gonna get on a whole nother level.
Yeah, I think so.
Or
There's a lot of talent, and I think with rollback, one of the things that I've always felt that was kind of unfortunate is EU wasn't really able to play within themselves too much. You
yeah,
know, depending on where you were in Europe, you still didn't really have much of a good connection if you were trying to play somebody in Great Britain or France or something like that. I'm really interested to see the EU scene. Like, we know that they're strong. We know that South America, we know that Chile, Central America, even Korea, like all of those players have strong
oh
players.
yeah, you just reminded me about Korea as well. Korea used to they had a pretty nice like uni scene going.
They still do. Uh, all of those guys are still playing for the most part. Guri Guri, uh,
Like
shout
I
outs
thought Guri
to
Guri
all of them.
quit.
Nah, man, he's
Guri
he's
Guri's
not
back.
playing so much right now, but he was playing during the beta. I've talked to him off and
Nice.
on during quarantine, so
That's nice.
everybody's looking forward to the new game.
It was really cool watching the I think it was like beginner tournaments they were having. I remember when they were running those beginner tournaments and it was fun to watch.
Even during quarantine, they had some small exhibitions between Japanese players and Korean players.
I remember that. I
And
do remember
so
that.
I think we're going to see more of that in the future too. So I'm like super excited for that,
It is so exciting. I'm a fiend. I'm a fiend, Jew. I wanna give me the Kumite. I wanna fight all of South America by myself. I'm trying to throw hands, man.
Hey, I think that there's an effort for them to try to come out to Climax or Combo Breaker or something like that. So as we hear more things, I feel like it's on us as players to get everybody together and see if we can't do more fun things like that. It's one of the measures that I had tried to attempt, and I think successfully attempted uh, up to this point. I don't know how much of that I'm going to be doing in the next version, but I certainly hope that everyone excited about the game wants to continue those sorts of things. But kind of going into the second part of our question here about things that you're looking forward to, do you have any goals that you're shooting for? It could be in uni, could be in not. Basically, setting yourself up for the next couple months to a year of uni. Do you have any goals in mind?
That's for uni, right?
It could be uni, it could be not uni, whichever.
Okay. I'll do the not uni stuff. Obviously, I want to get better at skating, but it's kind of there isn't really like a there isn't really like easy like benchmarks, I guess, to tell where you're at. You kind of just start just learning stuff and casually like building up more skills. But I guess if I'd have to give myself like a goal, it'd be able to like consistently um, do all the things that I can consistently do while skating forward, but while also doing it backwards, like, doing crossovers backwards and all of the manuals backwards and stuff like that. A lot of stuff. Being able to smoothly transition and all that. That's the point I'd like to get to. It's the next point, and I'm kind of still building towards that. A lot of people don't know, but I'm in college. I was fighting for my life this semester because the classes were awful. But I want to graduate college, and I'm actually going to graduate in a year. So 2 more semesters, and I'll be done with college. So that's nice. It's another
Nice.
goal. Kind of
Congratulations.
kind of sucks that it has to be in the same year where Uni 2 comes out, so I have to do a very good job of balancing, do I go to this tournament or, do I stay home and, spend a little bit more time studying or whatever. I have to do some balancing because I
Uh,
do want to go to tournaments next year, but it's kind of hard when I'm trying to, I'm going to have to look for internships, yada, 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 all that stuff, so.
yeah, as someone who has gone through that, one of the things people might not know this, but during 2019, I was preparing to graduate. And so I was traveling to various things, balancing work, because I worked as an intern. I was, doing all of this stuff, uni related, doing these interviews and all that stuff. Um, It's certainly a balance, but if I were to give any sort of advice, it'll still be slightly easier than doing it when you have a job, because you still have to worry about paid time off if you have that sort of accrual. And that really limits some of the events that you can go to, I think, too. So if you can, it's certainly better to have the new game come out, uh, I think, in this environment than
Yeah,
graduating with some plans and then
yeah.
voila, here's the pandemic. You don't get to go anywhere for 2 years. So I believe in you. You've done your balancing up to this point, and you'll find that work-life balance, tournament balance, that you need as you are coming towards your graduation.
Hmm. It's kind of funny that you graduated when COVID happened, and I also graduated from high school when COVID happened.
Yeah, I went back to school. I'm upper further up in age, but I had gone back to school I think in 2019, or not 2019, 2017 part-time, and then finished through the rest of my education basically coming into 2020. So
Mhm.
yeah, it's funny how life works. But we're basically at the end of our interview. Thank you so much for taking the time with me. Could you give us some places to follow you, maybe some content that you're thinking about making? And then if you have shout outs for anybody in particular, it's the time to do them.
So you can find me on Twitter. I tweet a lot of my like things that I lab and stuff, and where like times I stream and stuff as well. My Twitter is Defiant_Def, and my Twitch is Defiant Def. So that's where you can. I stream the game a lot, pretty long streams. Sometimes do some first attempts, maybe some really long sets. Go over certain topics. Like one of my streams I did was, um, I think it was like a stream on defense, stream on characters defense, who has the best defense, stuff like that. I do have a YouTube. I think it's just Defiant. Yeah, I have a YouTube. I haven't put in much on it yet, but I still plan to put stuff. I have a bunch of stuff planned. I have to put all my Uni 2 beta sets as well. So if you like Landrakia gameplay, you'll have it soon as well. So, but that's pretty much it. If I had to shout at anybody, it'd obviously be like Tama Home, which is essentially like this group of uni players. They're my friends that I chill out with, so appreciate them a lot. They give me a lot of motivation to get better, and also keep me in check. So I don't get like a big head, a big ego. There's always more improving to be done to be better as a person and a player and a competitor, all sorts of stuff. So appreciate them. I mean, WASD is what molded me into the player I am, giving me access to a lot of the best East Coast players and consistent tournaments. So WASD and Imp, thank you for that as well. Shout out to Gravy Jones's Discord as well. The great Gravy Jones and the crew. Person that also keeps me motivated as well. We're kind of both going through our own competitive journeys, like him trying to get better at Plus R and me trying to get better at Uni. So we kind of talk to each other about that stuff a bit, and it's always motivating and stuff like that. But that's pretty much it. Thank you for having me on. It's always fun to talk to you, like you and Foxa, because whenever I talk to you and Foxa, it's like I know I'm about to get a paragraph. I'm about to get a paragraph from both of you. So it always gives me something to chew on. There's always something that I have to think about a lot before I can give a response. So appreciate it.
Hey, it's not a problem. I had a blast talking to you today. Uh, it's been a little while. I've been kind of busy, but it's always a pleasure talking uni and seeing where people's journeys, have come and potentially where they're going. So thank you for letting me be a part of that. I appreciate you.
Yeah, long live the night, man. That's all I can say.
Absolutely. And on that note, we'll go ahead and cut it here.